Yo, what up? Once again, coming to you live. It is the Crossover Sports Podcast, episode 48. The best part of my week, as I always say. Rocking out with Amina. Uh, Matt will be in shortly. Unfortunately for you Trey fans, he will not be here today. Work and school, but Amina's here. So, Amina, go ahead and reintroduce yourself.
Hey everyone, it's Amina. Just rocking out tonight. I hope everyone enjoys the show.
Cool. All right, Charles. We always do. We starting off with our crossover hot takes, which don't necessarily have to be about sports, but today they're all sports. Where there's been a lot going on in the sports world. So that's where we're starting from today. All topics. I think for the first time in history, all topics are sports related this week because that's just the type of week and the type of time the sports world been on after a slow week last week. Go ahead. Well, wait. I didn't even say the question. All right. So, Amina, the Cle- the Cleveland Police. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just a little bit excited. It's one of them days. The Cleveland Police are refusing to carry the colors, the stars and stripes, the symbols for the Browns game because of their anthem protest from 2 weeks ago. You got some thoughts for me?
Now reading your question, you said police are refusing to carry the USA flag for Browns game because of anthem protests. Law. Um, represent these flags. Not just in America, anywhere else you go, they represent the country's, you know, flags, anthems, whatever. So it's kind of weird that they won't um stand up for, a team that's backed by their flag. Because these flags stand for police. They don't stand for civilians. And that shows by the constant not guilty verdicts that cops get when they take the lives of innocent people. So I don't know what's up. I mean, police culture won't change, but this seems to be an isolated situation where the police department doesn't typically have the usual feel. So maybe some people in law enforcement might show their support for the anthem protest. I don't know, but they are risking their job, which is their right, because you have a right to stand for what you believe in. But I feel as though, they have a right. I don't know if any other police departments around the country are doing what they appear to be participating in, but okay, move. We'll see more development as it moves on. Its impact and how others take it, but that's about it. Like this is new. Like I've never heard of a police department or police officers refusing something in reference to the United States flag. So this is not. This is new. The shift in politics, so to speak.
That's all right. I got enough. I got enough to fill up 2 podcasts. Let's see. Let me come with the facts. Right? Does anybody not see the irony here? Sorry, were you done? I'm sorry. I'm jumping the gun today. I'm jumping the gun today. I'm on fire. Y'all see how fast it's going. I wanted to start.
He's got a lot to say.
uh, uh, yeah, yeah. So first and foremost, this is same. Correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Muhammad. Isn't this the same police department that pulled up and shot Tamir Rice without a second thought? Like they just pulled up him, shot him without a second thought.
Was
Didn't even.
was it Cleveland or was it Cincinnati?
Yep. No. No. Cincinnati was the guy from the University of Cincinnati. Cleveland was Tamir. The
Yeah,
same.
I knew it was one of them.
The same Cleveland Police Department that the previous that not our great president, but one of the best presidents in the world, in my opinion, President Obama's administration. Wasn't that the same? Isn't this the same Cleveland Police Department that have been violating the rights of Black Americans for the past at least 2 to 3 years because of their, selective policing and over enforcement of the Black community that the Justice Department found?
You stand correct. I just checked.
Huh?
I said it was Cleveland. You stand correct.
Yep. So I just find it ironic that the city of the Cleveland, it's not even the city of Cleveland. Cleveland's police department now is becoming so sensitive. I don't understand Cleveland. I really don't. You wasn't sensitive when you pulled up on Tamir Rice. You haven't been sensitive when you've been over enforcing your Black community, pulling up Ferguson in one of the biggest cities in the country, in Cleveland. But now you sensitive. Oh my God. Oh my God. Some football players for one of the worst teams in football decided to kneel and a white player joined them. Oh my God, that's sensitive feelings. Freaking snowflakes. Shut up and put the flag and use the flag. I'm so sick of this stupidity around this hyper machismoic nationality that's going on here. Oh my God, we shoot people. We're just so above reproach that when football players kneel, instead of saluting the flag and just being blind robots, we get sensitive and decide that we're gonna pull the flag. The irony. The same police department, I'm looking at you, St. Louis, that was mad at the Rams for having a hands up, don't shoot when they came out for Mike Brown when he got shot. So many people, when it comes to Black people, they want to act like we just lied, we just making this stuff up, right? That Black when you interact with police officers, God bless their souls, we're not trying to paint all police with a broad brush. Not trying to do that. But I'm so sick of these sensitive police departments and FOPs that come up in here and start saying, our feelings, we love the flag. You love the flag, but you're not protecting and serving the Black community. Whether it's Ferguson, whether it's Cleveland, whether it's all these different. It's funny, every time somebody gets shot and they're unarmed, and everywhere, but I think Dallas, it's come out that, some kind of way, the Black community in that particular place has some grievances against the cops. It's as if selective policing, systematic enforcement of racial biases that this country was built on has made African Americans sensitive when it comes to police. But it's always our fault. It's never the police department's fault. It's never anything else. You know what this is? This reaps some irony because the police are mad because somebody else is protesting, so they're protesting the protest within a protest. Don't that sound like some Inception stuff? Listen. I know they have a hard job, but sometimes they make it hard on themselves. I know there are police departments that do an exceptional job when it comes to community policing, but stuff like this, when it comes to Cleveland, just makes it so much harder. Like speaking of the city of Cleveland, because I've been trying to let the great Jim Brown live, but I finally saw the quote that I've been ignoring for the past 2 weeks, where he said He respects what Colin Kaepernick's doing, but he wouldn't desecrate a flag. Sir, you are the great Jim Brown, one of the pillars of the black community and one of the pillars of woke athletes. When we want people to be woke in the black community when it comes to athletes, we look to you, we look to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and we look to Muhammad Ali. God rest his soul, right? And it seems like the only person living up to that billing, because Muhammad Ali unfortunately is dead, is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And you over here cooning. I'm sorry, I don't mean to disrespect you, Mr. Brown, but you over here cooning. I've been told about how you marched with the civil rights movement, but now I see you with Donald Trump at Trump Tower. Let that one slide. Said, maybe it's just his age, maybe it's just something like that. But then I see you talking about somebody desecrating the flag, and you the same Jim Brown that was trying to stand up for your people's rights, and now you criticizing another man for trying to stand up for people's rights. Jim Brown, have you forgot who you are? Have you forgot what you stand for in this community? Because this is twofold, right? Because it's not just Cleveland Police Department that is being ironic and being stupid. It's Jim Brown too. I don't understand Jim Brown. I really don't. I don't understand what happened. Maybe he's suffering from dementia. Maybe he's suffering from something that I can't see. And if he is, then I apologize in advance. But until somebody proves otherwise, I don't know what's wrong with Jim Brown. But I think somebody needs to show him Google himself with participating in the civil rights movement and remembering what he did. And then remembering that, it's not as widespread as it was when he was playing football. But Colin Kaepernick had to do something to get our attention. And kneeling for the anthem was the best way he was going to get attention. And it takes a certain man. He lost his career right now for it. But what happened, and what happened to Michael Bennett this week, and we're about to get to that, just is proving his point. And the Cleveland Police Department, Brown, and whoever else, black, white, or whatever, that decides and saw what happened to Michael Bennett this week and still don't understand why African Americans and people of the same creed are refusing to stand for the national anthem. There's really no hope for you. Cleveland Police, you do the right thing. You put the flag up on come Sunday. You let these players kneel. You don't say nothing. You shut up. You remember that you are under investigation. Jim Brown, you get yourself to a computer and remember what you did and then apologize to that man. Go ahead, Amita.
He had a lot to say. But no, I said what I had to say. It's like somebody rubbed him the wrong way.
Listen, I've been holding this in for a while, man. I just saw some stuff that I've been ignoring. I really didn't believe that Jim Brown quote was real. I thought it was fake.
He was holding it in all that time.
Yeah, well, I don't really get to talk to, when I'm not writing articles, I work in the school district, so I really don't get a chance to talk about the sports stuff, until Friday. And
understandable.
Today is a special week. I'm sorry, guys. I promise I'm not this angry in real life. I promise. You can look at previous episodes. I promise I'm not this stereotypically angry in real life.
The angry black man.
Somebody listen to this and be like, "This is the wokest Kyler been in a while."
Diary of a Mad Black Man.
Listen, Matt's not here, so I gotta fill the quota. So, you got anything to add? You there? Oh, okay.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. All right.
Next question.
All right. So, Should the Eagles sign Colin Kaepernick? I know you don't. I know you don't care about this one because you're a Raiders fan, but go ahead.
Mm, Eagles are Mahomes talent. That's smart, but he needs to be signed somewhere, like immediately. He goes to the Eagles, the Jets, Giants, Bears, Browns, Bills, somewhere that they need the help. Like really, really need the help. Um, all these teams passing them up. It's like, why? Like, I'm even hearing back and forth conflicting stories for weeks now that the Ravens are supposedly signing him, and it's weird. The Eagles should sign him. I mean, if it's really a talk of the town, it needs to happen. But then a few days later, you end up signing somebody else. I saw, um, it was posted that his girlfriend has supposedly interfered with him signing with the
Oh,
team.
don't blow your load on that. We'll get to that in a minute. Don't blow your load on that yet. Go ahead. I mean, you can talk about it, but we're gonna get to it later. But go ahead. Don't blow your
So my thing is, all these teams, the team's office, everybody that's in charge of signing people, they're playing around this man now. Like they know people are upset and annoyed. Just get the man signed to a team. Football season has already started. Preseason is just about over. Regular season is just about starting. It's it's not looking good. He's been without a job for several months now, and it's like it's starting to be a noticeable situation. I mean, still watch my football season. I'm not gonna be that much involved with, though, so to speak, this season until he signs. I'm not cutting, but I'm not gonna be, as engrossed in it. It's like I can't. Like, why doesn't this man have a job? Other than the obvious reasons, but come on, like it seems other than the 49ers that he can be signed to. Execs, people in these offices, make something happen because it's not looking good. And this is going to contribute to trends in the NFL getting more worse. This may even be possibly one of the reasons why the NFL goes on strike. I'm just saying. Domino effect, chain reaction, things happen, and this may be one of the reasons why. I'm just saying. Potentially, but these teams, they need help, and Colin can help them. I mean, he's not an A1 quarterback, but he's not negative zero. Teams and his own sign, get him on a roster, and allow him to play no bench. Allow teams to participate just like everyone else. No force either. It's crazy. I don't know what's up with these people in the need help.
Yeah, what she said. I'm sorry. I feel like I blew my mental loop. But yeah. So the Eagles, right? The Eagles need a backup quarterback or at least a third quarterback. I know they just signed the former. There's some rules on this podcast in which we don't disrespect people, so we're not disrespect. So that disrespectful team name in DC will never be said. So the team from Washington, I know we signed their third string quarterback to our practice squad, but for the third quarterback, and right now we have Nick Foles, who apparently is constantly injured, uh, and he broke his elbow, did something to his elbow, so now he won't be playing unless something doesn't change, and he all his elbow then magically healed or something. But the Eagles need a quarterback, and I know Jeffrey Lurie came on today, did an impromptu interview about his feelings on everything and life and being good and everything. But I know his. I didn't watch the press conference. I was making an art. I was probably writing an article about that time about Michael Bennett. And what happened to him. So I missed the press conference, but apparently he compared what was going on with Kaepernick to the Michael Vick situation, and I guess he was trying to lay the groundwork for why he's trying to establish his logic by comparing it, even though it's not comparable. But to him, it is. Different strokes for different folks. And I really do hope that he signs because right now it's like a God given opportunity for Colin. He can come to Philadelphia, have us love on him. He can be our backup quarterback. God forbid if something happened to Carson Wentz, then we have an A1 quarterback, and I think our team can benefit from his Super Bowl experience. I always love bringing in Super Bowl experience people to young teams or people that were close or been there or have rings and stuff. Because right now, the Eagles, only two people with rings are both former Saints, and that would be Malcolm. No. They have Chris Baragos, so they have three people with rings. So that would be Chris Baragos, who won one with Seattle, and two former Saints, Darren Sproles and Malcolm Jenkins. Right, so that's three. That's a lot more than most people have, unless your name is the New England Patriots. But I want more people. And I think that's something that great. I think the city would be great for him. I'm never going to I, I'm never going to turn down uh, you know help, and I think the Eagles shouldn't either. And I think Jeffrey Lurie is the perfect owner for this. He's the same owner that didn't stand in the way when Malcolm Jenkins still wanted to do anthem protests. So I really want this to happen, and I think they definitely should sign Colin Kaepernick. So moving right along to our next question. It's going to be a lot of football and basketball questions, and especially if Matt don't cover, we won't get any baseball in today. uh,
Mhm.
so number three, to all these injuries, I mean, to star QBs, and so just to highlight some, Andrew Luck is not playing within the first couple of weeks because of shoulder injury, shoulder surgery he's recovering from. Uh, I know Cam Newton was up and down for a while, and I think it's still touch and go with him. Uh, Jacksonville doesn't have a quarterback, but now has a young black brother playing from Notre Dame, so I'm not gonna come at Cleveland. But there's at least three teams without a quarterback. So and the Eagles did a backup quarterback, but we're not talking about the Eagles because obviously our brother will want to be a starter, but the Ravens need a quarterback, so that's four. Need to get Courtney back up in here to defend her Ravens. But yeah. So basically, I mean, do these injuries highlight the importance of having a quality backup quarterback? Go right ahead.
Um, yes, it's recorded. I remember before seeing a season so early on in the season where all these players are injured. Like I in Sports Center, all of the sites online. I get updates on my phone about stuff every time I turn around. The last couple weeks, players are injured on these various things. I don't know what's going on. I know there is, but it's like the Castles getting injured lately. And they don't have no teams don't have a backup, which is not good for the season right now. It's too early on to be having all these injuries. So you gotta have backup. With any other job, you gotta have somebody. teacher's place in case you can't. Like in school, for instance, teacher can't come into school on a particular day. There's a substitute to take the place of that teacher for that day. There needs to be substitutes in routine in case of tragedy. But it's the NFL, and the NFL does those rules. They're important to get a backup quarterback because when you lose the only person on your team that can play that position, the team is not a team. I'm not to get hire all these people that went in to play the game and that do not play the game. Because it shows that you have not in the normal about that.
All right. I don't know what happened. Amelia, you still there? Yeah, yeah. I can hear you now. Go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, 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 yeah. I definitely agree with you. I think that what happened to star QBs is definitely highlighting, especially with Andrew Luck. I highlight, the fact that definitely the quality starters, and you kind of cut out for a little bit, but I hopefully I got the gist of what you were saying. That I agree with you. I've never seen so many injuries to star QBs and seeing Andrew Luck go down. I do like Andrew Luck. I've been following him since Stanford. Cam Newton always love Superman. But all these injuries and stuff, from basically nagging injuries from last year, have really killed these franchises. That it just highlights the fact, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that we have all these injuries to quarterbacks, Flacco, and the rest, we wouldn't be able to see like what's going on. Definitely think that it does highlight the necessity of a quality backup. See, guys, I'm back in character. It does highlight the necessity of a quality backup quarterback, and I just think that quarterbacks like Colin Kaepernick are a dime a dozen, and they you definitely highlights the fact of why you need a veteran or a good young person to come in and be a good quarterback, be able to hold the fort. You get a new quarterback, until your old quarterback comes back, or to keep you afloat. So yeah, so moving right along, I think we may have touched on this once before, so I apologize if it's a repeat question. But I mean, do you think the NFL overstepped its boundary by suspending Ezekiel Elliott for something that happened basically in college?
Yeah. Um. Um. Plenty of people in professional sports have done things outside of their career years prior. No matter what they did, criminal activity, no matter school thing, they did prior It's like someone for something they did. They're less. I feel like they over between one like from 2018. That's example. But I think it's logic and reasoning that they can the person in hell and the past. And if it does like it can go try to notice the cancel their of the like so he is the the
Yeah. I definitely agree that I feel the NFL has overstepped its boundaries. Definitely by suspending Ezekiel Elliott, and like we always do, conversations about Cowboys come up, and I'm an Eagles fan. Uh, I'm going to bring up objectivity here and take off the fan hat. It is egregious for anybody to take past mistakes from college because we all have made mistakes in college or when we were younger. And those mistakes don't fully have to, should not impact future employment perspectives, or you should not be able to be punished for something that happened a couple of years ago in Columbus, Ohio, where even the police department, this is just a fact, I am not a supporter of domestic violence. I feel you are less of a man if you hit a woman. I don't care what they do, right? And that's just my own personal opinion. And but I just feel that if the Columbus, Ohio Police Department found Ezekiel Elliott's former girlfriend to be an unreliable witness, and that's why they didn't press any more charges on Zeke. I think that would be enough for the NFL. I know he got suspended for embarrassing the league. We all know this. We all know that his domestic violence thing was just a cover because they couldn't suspend him for anything else. So they decided to suspend him for what he did a couple of years ago. Uh, that's and that is fine. The NFL, Roger Goodell was honest and just said, I'm suspending Ezekiel Elliott because he's an embarrassment and he's been an embarrassment for the past year and a half since he's been in the league. Then fine, I would have no problem with it because he can't disagree that he has not been an embarrassment to the league and to the Cowboys since he got in the league. So I'd be fine with that. But that's when you tell the truth. When you try and cover what you want to do with something that's past, you end up with egg on your face like the NFL is right now, where he's basically filed a restraining order against the NFL so he can play it on Sunday. So you end up with egg on your face. So you did what you think is the right thing, but you still end up with egg on your face because you're trying to punish somebody for something where basically the statute of limitations is up. He didn't get arrested for it. There's no video, unlike the Ray Rice situation and everything. And unfortunately, we'll never know what he did. If he did beat her up or whatever he did to her, we'll never know. Only God, him and his girlfriend know exactly what he did to her. But as far as what we can see, he deserves to play. And unless somebody comes out with shocking video of him beating up his girlfriend, I have to be objective here and say he deserves to play. You know, Mina, you have anything else to add?
Coach, I mean, like I said, he tried and like the woman were there, sitting out there. So,
Okay. Yeah. So the next question is, did Texas A&M blow it by allowing UCLA to come back from a 32-point deficit? Yes. So it wasn't just. It's not just the return of the NFL. Last weekend saw the return of college football. So No, I know this is probably the first time we talked about college. No, it's not the first time we talked about college football on this show. This is the first time Amina's encountered a college football question. So you good with this? So you have an opinion? Go ahead, Amina.
I'm used
Oh, okay, I'll start then. Yeah, the Texas A&M blow it. Now, this game happened on Sunday. Here in Philadelphia, we were doing Made in America, and Jay-Z was performing around the time, Texas A&M and UCLA were playing. But, they were playing on that beautiful West Coast. And it was like 7, 8 o'clock there, so they needed something to do. And UCLA was up by 32 points. Not UCLA. Texas A&M was up by 32 points. And what happened basically was Texas A&M got out coached. They collapsed like the Falcons did. They had the lead, and then with the last couple minutes of the fourth, basically through most of the fourth quarter, they would get outscored, outplayed, and outcoached by UCLA, and they came back from the second biggest deficit in college football history. That's a Cliff Notes version of what happened on Sunday. Tune for a full article on what happened on last Sunday. But they were out coached. They were playing hurry up Chip Kelly offense, where they were just doing no huddles instead of running the ball and taking time off the clock. Texas A&M, I keep wanting to say UCLA. Texas A&M just gave the game away basically, and their defense was tired, and that led up on them. And then the quarterback in UCLA just woke up. It's a shame basically what happened to Texas A&M, but they kind of, with the way they played and the way the Kevin Sumlin allowed himself to get out coached, it's kind of expected, and this does not do him any favors as he is trying to basically keep his job. And I guess I hit two questions in one. Kevin Sumlin, he is a coach of Texas A&M football. He's been there for a while, I think at least 4 to 6 years. And, he is a black coach in Texas. And Texas football is next to church because they have nothing else to do in Texas. And and they that's what they care about. And unfortunately for Kevin Sumlin, a booster and somebody who's on the board of trustees has lost faith in him. And after that 32-point lead, who can blame him? But he should understand by what happened to his former coaching brother Charlie Strong that when you don't perform in Texas and have some winning records in Texas, you are going to get fired. And there are not a lot of black coaches, especially in college football, and we need as many as we can get. But Kevin Sumlin is not performing. He hasn't been performing since he lost Johnny Football to the NFL. And he has to get it together. He has to find that Kevin Sumlin that coached up Johnny Manziel in college football and keep his job. He's got to. For Kevin Sumlin, it's major bowl or bust, basically. If he does not get to a major bowl, he will be fired. And unfortunately, he will probably lose his job and be the second high profile black coach kicked out of the state of Texas for not being able to perform when it matters, you know? Just like Charlie Strong, and I feel what happened in Texas last weekend was and even I don't believe in this, but it was karma getting back at them for the way they fired Charlie Strong. They deserved to lose to the University of Maryland, and they lost to the University of Maryland very bad. And you know, I want Texas A&M to win. I think they got a cupcake matchup coming up. I'm not sure who's on the Texas A&M schedule for the next game, but I'll be sure to be up on that. Uh, and you know, I just think that Kevin Sumlin, you know, just has to find himself like most coaches. You know, he's going to be a victim of his own success. He peaked with a good prospect that hasn't been peaking since that prospect left. It's kind of like the University of Florida, which hasn't been good in football since Tim Tebow left. So, you know, it's a little bit the same thing. And they just need to get it together, basically, or else he will lose his job to a white guy who the Texas A&M boosters have had their eye on for the last 5 years. So, you know, it's got to do it, someone. You know, coach them up, someone. That's what you got to do for the next 16 weeks, or else lose your job, basically. So that was that. They were just running right through this. You know, whose side are you on, LeVar Ball or the NCAA? So LeVar Ball, a favorite topic of the sports world, wants his youngest son Lamelo, or is it D'Angelo? No, it's Lamelo. He's in high school. He's a junior in high school, so he's a young buck, ultra young buck. You know, uh, he's got a sneaker deal. You know, in high school, you know, he can have sneakers. But as you know, the NCAA is the anti capitalist program that they uh, does not want him to make money while he's doing it. And LeVar Ball basically said, "I don't care. The NCAA is not my boss. I want my son to have a sneaker deal and get money off of the ball brand, basically. So the big ball brand. So whose side are you on? Go ahead, Amina.
I'm on his side. I keep up more with the NFL than NCAA, but from what I understand with the NCAA is that the players don't get paid like like it's not income because they're student athletes. So my thing is, if the NCAA is not going to establish something where they get financially secure as far as the income, not big contracts like the NFL, but that's able to sustain themselves. What did they expect? I mean, are people supposed to be on the corner selling socks for $5 a piece? I think it's the thing. He has the secret deal, and I wish him the best with it. Be successful for him because it's something he appears to want to be involved with. I mean, these are young adults. They're, college, about to finish college, universities, and they need the money because college university students, for the most part, are struggling to survive today. Because a lot of them have money that financial aid doesn't cover for things, books, for board, eyes, deal, apparently, but he could possibly in other means legit legal income. Because if they're not paying them, how else do they expect them to live? Like, I don't understand it. It's silly, but I'm on his side. I want to others that want to do something positive in their life, especially to establish themselves financially. That's some NCAA that the young man makes money, the young man side hustle in shape form. So let it be.
Yeah, what I mean is that the NCAA needs to stop being dictators. They need to come to 2017. Uh, just like resident assistants get stipends. I've said this before on this podcast. I will continue to say it until the NCAA does it. I know that we are just a small but growing podcast, but I will continue to say it because nobody else is saying it. The NCAA, I guess it takes somebody young to figure this one out. The NCAA should do what colleges and universities do for their residential assistants. Give each college athlete a stipend. That could be $1,500 to $2,000, then and adjust it for whatever school they go to. So obviously, people are athletes that are in more expensive places, like say Washington D.C., San Francisco, New York, L.A. You know, uh, get more money, and that's a fair way of doing it. And you just get your stipend to do what you want, what you need with it. You get your food, get your everything, and if they want to make YouTube videos, they want to sign autographs to make money, let them do it. All these schools do it. The schools put the names on the back of the jersey, sell the jersey, the bookstores make money off of it. Everybody making money, but the people that put butts in seats. Nah, let them make their money. I don't care if you're on the football team, the basketball team, swimming team. If you put butts in seats and people make money off you, get your stipend. And
Either that
I'm with.
or
Yeah, you're right. I'm with the NCAA. I'm not the NCAA. I'm with LeVar Ball. For the first time in history, I actually agree with this man. He he is maybe the best businessman, uh, the best, I'll say this, the best parent, manager, businessman ever, probably. Where besides Richard Williams. Uh, well, let me just say in the sport of basketball. How about that? Right? So, I can't knock the man's hustle. He's got three sons. He thinks they're all good at basketball, and people people will pay $395. Not this guy for those sneakers, and the man deserves his money. He deserves his cut. If LaMelo is that good and he proves to be that good, and he can move product like that, let him get his money. Doesn't matter if it's a high school. Doesn't matter if it's a college. Doesn't matter if it's NBA. If he is that good, as advertised, so let him get his money and stop being anti-capitalist. NCAA. Let these people get their money. Don't turn college football into the next wage inequality debate where we're saying college is high, even though these athletes get full ride scholarships, they can't. The food services is not open all the time. Uh, this is taken from somebody who actually had a meal plan. Food services is not open all the time. Sometimes the food services is hit or miss. No matter what college you go to. And these athletes need to eat. They need groceries. They need soda. They need Gatorade. They need water. They need everything. And give them the money. Give them their stipend. Pay the athletes. Pay the athletes.
either that or the money that they would pay them, they would put towards their money for school, like give them a put it towards their tuition. Room, board, something. But it needs to be some type of finances that come their way.
The NCAA pay the people. So say the sports journalist and the future nurse. Pay the people. Let's go. Moving right along. So Amina, what's your thoughts on what happened to our brother Michael Bennett in Las Vegas after the Floyd Mayweather and after the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor fight? I'm not gonna say my opinion on that fight. Go ahead, Amina.
Is this like based on the article you sent me?
Yeah, yeah, it's based on his arrest. Have you heard about that from yesterday?
I heard something, but not much. But mm,
I'll give you the short version. Basically, Michael Bennett claims that he was coming out of the arena. Uh, he heard gunshots, and him and a bunch of his other people around him, black, white, or whatever, they all ran, and you know, because they heard shots fired, and that's what you do when you hear shots fired. And the police came upon him outside of a nightclub, and they even the police account match basically starts out matching up with his. When they say they were looking for the shooter, they saw these people running around the nightclub area. They found Michael Bennett behind a slot machine. They say he ran. There's no video evidence of him running, and all you basically end up with is Michael Bennett on the ground with a taser or a gun near his head. Uh, he got his hands behind his back. He's saying yes sir, no sir. The typical stuff most people do when they're stopped by the police. He gets arrested, and they find out that he's an athlete. He stays in jail for a little bit until they can confirm his identity. Until they see that he has nothing to do with it, and then they let him go. And nobody would have known about this until Michael Bennett released his little Instagram post yesterday. Well, I shouldn't say little, his essay of an Instagram post where he described what happened and alleged that the police used excessive force. And somebody said that one officer said he would blow his effing head off. And the cops even said that Michael Bennett understood why. After they talked to him because of who he was, they let him meet with a superior officer, and he talked about whoever this cop was. But it came out there was two Hispanic cops, and nobody had their body cameras on or was malfunctioning or something. So go ahead and take off from that.
mm,
So, so it's basically a he said, basically.
yeah, like I said, they're gonna treat black players like how they feel about them. At the end of the day, anybody that's black that's in a position where they're making money, whether that's sports, entertainment, politicians, it's all looked upon by the establishment as niggers, so to speak. They're gonna treat these players, these black ones, how they feel. It race does have a factor because these stuff doesn't go on with non-black players. You never hear about it because it never goes on. It's just us. But that's what I have to say.
Well, good because I got a soliloquy. First off, again, from the police description, and this is their own words. You can look up. You can also check out the article I wrote about it, which from what a lot of people are telling me is a great article. That's what they say, not what I say. Uh, you can check that out at watsonsportspace.com. Always gotta put that shameless plug in every podcast. There is so what happened to Michael Bennett and the facts. Let me be responsible here. The facts are still yet to be determined, but now we do have uh, some evidence, and even the police, the under chief, because they do it differently in the West Coast, they have an under sheriff. The undersheriff of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and that is a mouthful. I will henceforth refer to them as the LVMPD. The LVMPD, even they went with the typical line. The guy said, I don't think this had anything to do with race. They did admit some. They did give us some more information. They said that the reason the cops got on Michael Bennett is because they say he ran away from them. They wanted to talk to him. They even admit they had no idea who was shooting, what it was. They just saw that, Michael Bennett decided to run. This is what they say. And they said that was suspicious, so they gave chase. They caught him, arrested him, and all that stuff. But they said they admit they had no profile. They had nothing to go on. They just saw somebody run and just said that was suspicious. And this is why I say, and this is something off topic, but this is why I say that I think we need to have some kind of amendment or a new law or something that gets these cops to define what suspicious is, because saying something is suspicious is like the go-to line now. Oh, he was walking suspicious. Oh, he looked suspicious. Somebody
threatened. Shot him.
Yeah, somebody need to explain to me what looking suspicious is. Now it sounds
your black skin. That's what's suspicious.
It sounds sort of suspicious by the way they're describing it, but I wasn't there. But I digress, right? So what happened? The Michael Bennett incident. My thoughts on it is this: Michael Bennett should thank God. We should all thank God, because unfortunately, when one person is lost, whether they are athletes or not, if they're African American and they get lost, for any sense of reason, whether that be crime, I will not call it black on black violence or black on black crime. It is just crime. This is somebody with a criminology. I can tell you right now, crime is interracial. It is never intraracial. Interracial is within your race. Interracial is within your race. Intra is outside. You have for those of you that don't know. So you have a lot of things that's white on white. It's just called crime. I'm calling it black on black crime. But that's another thing. That's another thing for another day. But what happened to Michael Bennett should thank God that at that point he was a black man who just so happened to be an athlete. Just James Blake, the black tennis star who was assaulted by cops in New York a couple years ago. He was assaulted, and he just so happened to be a Harvard educated, or was it Princeton? One of them. He was an Ivy League educated black tennis player who, because of his status, was able to, come home. Unfortunately for people like Philando Castile, Michael Brown, and all that stuff, whatever you may think, both of them, and they're just two, Tamir Rice and others, didn't deserve to be shot. Eric Garner didn't deserve to be choked to death for different things, right? And no matter your politics, I think we can all agree on that. Nobody should lose their life at the hand of police, especially black people, right? And Michael Bennett, he happened to be an athlete. Even as an athlete, he said he was scared. He talked to his dad. His first call was to his family, his mother and father, and even they were scared. And they're from Port Arthur, Texas. Now, I've never been to Port Arthur, Texas, but I know it is a suburb right outside of Houston, 15 to 20 minutes outside of Houston. I know that. So, I just think that, fortunately for Michael Bennett, he happened to be an athlete. And I just think that the only reason he was able to navigate that, able to walk out relatively unscathed besides the mental scars, is because of his athletic status. And I think that because of that, right, I make this point in the article, the media can back me up on this, athletes need to speak up more. What happened to Michael Bennett, as Amina said, every African-American person, no matter if you're an athlete, no matter if you're a politician, no matter if you're a comedian or whatever, right? You should understand that you are one crazy incident. It doesn't necessarily have to be the police. You are one crazy incident away from losing everything. And the first thing they're going to look at It's not your athletics. They're gonna look at what's on the outside, your skin color, and the only thing that may save you is your famous status, and that's about it. Because it's alleged profiling, so that's what I'll call it. Alleged profiling, all that stuff knows nothing but the color of your skin. And we are so far away from Martin Luther King's dream, where people cannot be judged by the color of their skin. And it's an unfortunate thing that they have to be judged by the color of their skin, no matter what they do. And they can dunk balls or quarterbacks like Michael Bennett. But if nothing else comes from this, my thought on this is that more athletes need to step up. Black athletes need to stop being silent. Somebody need to shut Jason Whitlock up about all this stuff. He's one of the famous African Americans, him and Sage Steele, who are both broadcasters doing something that I would love to do. Having a platform and saying, "Oh, what do these athletes know about struggle?" As if their lives started as soon as they got drafted by whatever team they got drafted by, or signed by whatever team they got drafted by. Because I know that not every sport has drafts, and that they know no struggle now that they are rich. As Michael Bennett just showed, it doesn't matter what you are, your money won't save you. As I just said, you are one crazy incident away from losing everything. So, the next question, we only got a couple more. What happened to Michael Bennett propel more athletes to use their platform to speak on injustices? Go ahead, Amina.
It's only been about a year since Kaepernick started his movement. So no, I mean, the only time itself. Like I said in previous episodes, really don't know the ramifications to this be 5 years from now, 10 years ago, when it's talked about in like past tense. Because if you think about it, an example of referencing Muhammad Ali in 1967, when you said people didn't understand it right then and there, but years later they did. People find people that may have hated what he did back then are finally respecting it now that are still living. And my thing is, it will possibly may encourage others to participate, but like I said, we won't understand its totality until later on. Even though its impact on society until later on. It's starting to get there. You're starting to see differences out. They're standing up and did that. What people like what people that aren't afraid is to say, I'm just not playing for the money. I'm playing for a purpose with a purpose. So I have going to come out and say what they have to say.
Yeah, it's I as I shared in the article that I just wrote about this, I feel just said, I feel that more athletes now is the athlete's responsibility. Colin Kaepernick showed it. Michael Bennett has showed it. LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Carmelo Anthony showed it a couple of years ago. Now, before I give Colin Kaepernick and all of them their credit, I have to give credit to LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony for really getting this started because, you know, really it was the NBA and basketball players that really, started this whole woke, before the word was even I think the woke culture in the wake of Trayvon Martin, where the Miami Heat got this started because they took a team picture in hoodies. And I would be neglected to say if I didn't say this, and we're not gonna blackwash this thing and act like it was just the NFL. The only reason, Colin, and I love Colin Kaepernick, but I gotta give LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul their credit because this started in basketball. Basketball players were at the forefront of this before the NFL players. They were the ones wearing hoodies during warm-ups, wearing "I Can't Breathe" T-shirts in the wake of what happened to Eric Garner. So I have to give them credit first. Basketball players were first because they are in a more progressive league, and we have talked about the difference between basketball and football before. Not going to go there. I'm going to stay on topic of Michael Bennett. I just thought I should give those basketball players their credit first. Now on to football. More athletes, and this has started since Michael Bennett made the call, and I just wish that Colin Kaepernick was able to really be a part of this and really able to, do more actually within the league and within the confines of the league and work within the system as well as outside it. But kudos to Michael Bennett just for sharing his story because he didn't have to share it. As I pointed out in my article, had he not said this statement on Instagram yesterday morning, none of us would have known that he got arrested in Las Vegas and that, he was planning on filing a civil rights lawsuit against the LVMPD, right? So, I am so happy for him because he even, they came out with an article. I think it was in ESPN, New York Times, or Washington Post. One of those three outlets came out because they had talked to his dad, and his dad said, he was scared because he heard the fear in his 6 foot. I think they said Michael Bennett is 6'3", 6'4", 270-pound son who's used to hitting people and having his way on the football field, basically in tears, crying over the phone based on what happened to him, right? And they said, he wanted to share it, but a lot of people tell him don't share it. People will misinterpret and everything. But I'm actually happy he shared it because it like I said, it highlights this overall thing that I don't think is talked about, and that I think, of course I'm going to say this, but that I think people aren't talking about is what it says about the fact that no matter what, if you're a black athlete, before they see anything else, they see your skin color. And again, I don't know if this is profiling or not. And I don't mean to say that by trying to imply that it's profiling. I'm just saying that for anybody that's ever walked in the minority population, you understand that in some cases you are judged just based on your outer appearance, and it is so frustrating that people know you by your stereotypes and their previous experience. Then they actually get to know the person in front of them, right? And for Michael Bennett to share this and to prove Sage Still, Whitlock, and all them wrong by saying, we knew this happened. We don't live in a fake world, but to know that these athletes actually do go through things, and like I said, I'm not naive to not think they don't go through things, but to know that they can just as easily have a bad interaction with cops and have it all go wrong, just like the rest of us. It's kind of sobering, We all know that we're in this together, but what Michael Bennett's thing shows is that we actually are all in this together, and just that fact alone that this can happen to anybody. Sure, I'm not gonna be like I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen that white players and white athletes don't interact with the cops because we know that's not true. But it's just that they don't talk about it. A lot of this is it's not made public. Michael Bennett made his public. He's gonna take a hit for this. I'm sure. I'm sure a lot of or endorsement deals in which you have endorsements or CEOs that support police. I won't even say that support police officers. Let's just say that they have a hyper extended version of nationalism, and they have this police are always right mentality, right? And I he's going to lose a lot of endorsement deals because of what he said. A lot of things he's going to be punished for trying to what'll be seen as get money out of the LVMPD, right? But I'm happy, and I hope more athletes stand up for him. I don't think Colin Kaepernick's done enough. I'm not going to come at him, but any athlete, if you're saying, if you're not, if you are an African American athlete or a white athlete that's an ally, you work with these African Americans, then you need to do something. You cannot. I don't care if you know I'm not going to tell you to not stand for the anthem. That's your personal choice. But you need to do something. You need to make an impact. You need to go back to whether that's go back to your community, whether that's sit for the national anthem, whatever that is. Sit for the national anthem and donate whatever you want to do. But you need to do something. You need to be highlighting these issues. It doesn't have to be police brutality. It could be sexism within the sports industry. That's something that we don't talk about. Something like just use that platform for something. Muhammad Ali. There's been a short video of his interview, I guess, with some reporter from a show that doesn't exist. I think it's the Ed Bradley show, but I'm not sure. In which he talked about, that he is going to be a part of these athletes, and people in history will remember him for being the athlete that stood up for his people, and that's true. Him, Jim Brown, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Maybe we should take Jim Brown off this list based on what he's been saying these last couple of weeks. Are known as athletes who thought for African Americans, thought for their people, who didn't care about the fact that they had millions of dollars when it came to the fact that other people were suffering that were black, just like them. These athletes need to do something. They need to stand for something. Because right now, it's bigger than you. This is the fuel. This is the fuel right now. And I noticed that only one football player in the Chiefs Patriots game sat down for the anthem. I'm not saying that you have to sit down for the anthem, but I think the most immediate protest for these players would be an anthem protest, for real. All in. Doesn't have to be kneeling. Could be locking arms. Could be shoulder to shoulder. Whatever it takes. I think that will send the message we are all in this together as far as football players, especially for Michael Bennett. Somebody who is outspoken, somebody who is a leader. More people need to get involved, and they should right now. It isn't a question anymore. If you are an athlete and you are on the fence, you should be making a statement. I don't know what that statement is because only God and you can know what that statement is, but you need to be making a statement about something. Stand for something or you'll fall for everything. Stand. I don't care about the money. You make plenty of money. Save your money. Stop spending money. Save your money. Store up. You see Colin Kaepernick stored up. Store up. Meaning you got anything else to add? Okay, cool. So our next and last question about this Michael Bennett stuff. So Amina, do you think more specifically white players will start speaking up now?
I don't know. I mean, I saw the one case where they did the one white player is supporting and standing up, but I'm not seeing them come out and say. But it's only been like a year since this all started with Kaepernick, so who knows? But there might be more. They're coming out the woodwork, but I don't even really know the motive of the one that I know of that came out because he, from what I understand, is a black wife. So, would he have done it still if he was married to his own kind? A Caucasian female. I don't know. So it leads me to wonder, like, the motives and intentions when I found out people's backstory of their lives, as far as these Caucasians. standing up for this movement. But if they're gonna help, help. If they not don't, they don't. But maybe something might come about. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, who knows? Honestly, if I'm going to take the safe answer, who knows? But I hope more white players get involved because they're needed. You see what happened with Celta Valve, and who can know his motion, his motives, as Amina said. But they are needed, as Michael Bennett said. Aaron Rodgers has stepped up to the plate, and he's been saying that he thinks that if it wasn't for the anthem protests, that Colin Kaepernick would be playing football, and he said he deserves to play football. So I think even that, and more white players did more interviews and even just basically said it like Colin Kaepernick isn't playing because of the anthem things. I think that's a powerful thing because it shows that they don't have. And so when somebody like Aaron Rodgers gets up there and says it, he's one of the most recognizable faces in the NFL. I definitely think it should make people wary, make other players want to say, okay, maybe I'm not as high profile as Aaron Rodgers, but I still have a platform, even if you tweet it. Uh, even if you did something, you know, I, like I said, I can't tell anybody how to protest. Protesting is a personal thing that is between uh, God and you. Whatever you feel, and I will never tell anybody how to protest or how to feel or how to do anything. But I definitely think that now is a time where there should be unity in the athletic community because it is a very small community of athletics. People who are blessed to have the gift of athletics need to stand together, and that's what they need to do. And more white players need to get involved. That's all I can really say, for real, for real. And it's basically what I've been saying these last three questions. Every athlete, no matter their color, their creed, or their background, needs to stand together and figure out, what they can do to highlight the different issues that are going on in this country. That's about all I can say. All right. So we're on to NFL opening weekend, which we've all been waiting for. Our loyal fans, our predictions for these NFL games. I know one's going on, but Mina, what are your thoughts? I know Raiders are gonna blow them out, right?
It's fine. Like I like Tom said throughout the season, so that's the motivation to bounce back. Um, um, doing better than we did last season. Um, some other teams are just too much. They're not better off. Um, but I wish every team the best of luck. All 32 teams. I know one team would have some government, but outside of that, I wish everyone well. Have a great season. I hope the Browns don't have a repeat of last season where they only won their last two games and lost by the 14. I hope everyone has a safe season and, and I hope more people stand up for what they feel so they believe this season. It's no longer the time and sports entertainment politics behind shoot the cover. Gotta say something, say it now before the 100 people. So that's a good season and glad you can have a
Let me just. Oh, were you done?
mm-hmm.
All right, so let me just say, I expect hopefully the Eagles to beat that team from Washington. Uh, I expect the Raiders to win their game. I don't know who they're playing, but let me look that up real quick. Oh, they're playing Tennessee. Okay, so I think
Mm-hmm.
the
Type.
the Raiders will win. Raiders and Eagles hopefully will win. To everyone else, good luck. Just to even this out, I think New England will win. I know it's not a surprise that game's in progress right now, but I think New England will win. I think Buffalo will win their game. Chicago, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Arizona, Houston, uh, Oakland, Philadelphia, Indianapolis, Green Bay, because I have Aaron Rodgers on my fantasy team. Green Bay, uh, San Francisco, and in the game that I wish could tie, the Dallas and the New York Giants. New York, I hate them less. New Orleans, though they'll probably end up being Minnesota, but New Orleans win their game, and probably Denver. And other than that, like I'm really excited to see outside of football games, and I'm excited to see if this will end up like last first year, where instead of talking about the football games, we'll be talking about different protests that happen as a result of not just Colin Kaepernick, but now Michael Bennett. I think that these next 2 weeks and probably these next 3 weeks, the first couple weeks of the NFL football will be marred by what people do and wake up what happened to Colin Kaepernick. What is currently happening with Colin Kaepernick. What went on with Michael Bennett. I think that you will see that the NFL will probably have a successful opening weekend, but the ratings will be down. Part of that will probably be because of everybody talking about the anthem protest, but I think a majority of it will be, and specifically demographic wise, I think they'll probably see a significant drop in African American support just because of what happened with Colin Kaepernick. And I know a lot of people that are not watching, but I have to keep up with this stuff, and I like football, so I'm not one of those people. But I think that there is a significant amount of people who will be boycotting the NFL until Colin Kaepernick gets a job. I believe. You know. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, but I think that there will definitely be it might not be significant. Maybe it just be 1 or 2%, or something like that. But I just think that there'll be a good portion of people in the NFL will be like, "Oh, snap, we're losing our black population." I think, but
Not talk about the game, but our team, the people,
yeah,
in San Francisco.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's a significant portion of the NFL by any means, but I know a lot of people that I know are not watching football games this year until they sign Colin Kaepernick. And that's not a good sample of the American population, but I'm just letting you know, right? I've been right about what's been going on with the NFL for a while, and I'm gonna call that these the decrease in viewership will be very significant in this year's NFL race. But I also think that I think the Eagles will have a good year. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but I think they'll have a better record than last year. I have their record hopefully at 9-7 or 10-6. So we'll see if that'll in the playoffs. And everybody's excited. It is football season. Rejoice! Football is back. College football is back.
Basketball time.
Basketball is coming. Somewhere I know Matt's heart has just broke because I haven't been to baseball. But for those of you that are like Matt, you like baseball. The playoffs are coming soon in October, so you will have October baseball soon, the World Series, and everything else. But for right now, let us have this. Football is back, and we're excited. I'm very much excited, and I don't know exactly what happened to Matt for you Matt fans, but I very much enjoy rocking out with Amina. I was able to vent, but have
Announcement for basketball. Um, Golden State Warriors opened their first preseason game of the 2017-18 season against the Denver Nuggets at the Oracle Arena on Saturday, September 30th. That's coming.
All right, yeah. So we have all that. So you guys enjoy your football. Football is back. You guys and girls, take showers. Do what you got to do, and enjoy your football. Enjoy your weekend. Friday is coming up. So one more work day, and then it's the weekend. So enjoy it. Thank you all for rocking out. Thanks for Amina for always being down. Keep Trey in your thoughts and prayers as he wraps up. He as most of you know who listen to this podcast. He does school and he works. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers. We definitely gonna send prayers and thoughts to the people of Florida. More importantly, as they get ready to deal with Hurricane Irma, and prayers and thoughts to the Caribbean, specifically the island of Barbuda, who apparently it looks like a nuclear bomb was dropped on them, and that's how strong this hurricane is. Prayers and thoughts to the people of Haiti and the Dominican Republic and Turks and Caicos, as that's where the hurricane currently is, as it makes its way towards Florida. And shouts out prayers and thoughts to the state of Florida as it gets ready for another hurricane. And and it may have a couple more coming with Jose, and I think one more. So hurricane season is not over. For those that don't know, hurricane season is not over until Halloween. So
it's actually November 15th.
Okay, well November 15th. So the way this global warming works, we may end up with a couple more storms. So, and that's not to make light of it. That's just the fact of the matter. So, definitely be safe if you're in Florida and you listen to this podcast. Be safe.
Georgia to South Carolina.
South Carolina, I have family in South Carolina. South Carolina, leave North Carolina. Hopefully,
states of emergencies and all these southern states. A few of them.
Hopefully, it won't hit you too hard. But specifically for my people in Florida, it's a little bit late for my peoples in the Caribbean. But specifically my people in Florida, if you can get out of Miami, Tampa, and Jacksonville, and probably Orlando, get out now. You have one more day to leave. Don't be stupid, and don't think that because something is a category 5 and might be a category 4 by the time it hits you that you can last leave. That's what a lot of people in Houston thought, and that's why the death toll in Houston is 60 to 66. It might be up to 70 by now. Don't be stupid. Leave. Your housing, your finances, and all that is rebuildable. Your life is not. Be smart. Leave. Take your pets. Do everything. This is the PSA. Leave. Be smart. Leave. And just be safe, man. And to everybody else, have a good weekend. To my people in California who are dealing with, specifically Southern California, with the wildfire, you be safe. Idaho and the earthquakes, you be safe. It's just a lot going on, man. And to the people severely affected by the decision to get rid of DACA, prayers and thoughts to you too. I know there's a lot going on that we didn't get to today. There's just been a lot with the sports world, but we will definitely cover it hopefully next week. Or we'll be back to Friday at 9 next week. Again,
God willing.
Yep. Next Friday we'll be back to. We're gonna go back to Friday unless something changes with either one of our schedules. So you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy your Friday. Be safe. Prayers and thoughts for everybody. Hopefully we will meet again next week if it be the Lord's will. So deuces. Have a good weekend.